My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask you for pardon for my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father, Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. In the first reading today, we see the fruit of the first great persecution. After the death of Stephen, we are told Christians scattered all over the place, as far as Phoenicia, Cyprus, and Antioch. They weren't sent by the apostles or anything. They just went, like so many Catholics today, moving from one place to another. And the gospel did spread everywhere. We read that in Antioch the message was well received, and a great number who believed turned to the Lord. The news about them reached the ears of the church in Jerusalem, and they sent Barnabas to go to Antioch. So Barnabas arrives in Antioch, and he's bowled over by what he sees. It was there, in Antioch, you remember, that your disciples, Jesus, were called Christians for the first time. It seems like there were many sheep in Antioch, but not enough shepherds. So he needed help. And he remembered a man, a convert, who had great qualities and could help him, someone called Saul from Tarsus. So St. Barnabas went in search of St. Paul, and he changed the course of history. And this is what I wanted to bring to our prayer today, Jesus, as we talk to you and pray for laborers for your harvest. I won't hide my sources. Most of this meditation comes from the book Going on Vocation, which I really recommend. Do you know the story of the Cure of Ars? Saint Jean-Marie Vianney saw his vocation when he was about 17, but his father told him to forget about it, and for 2 years he was only supported by his mother. Finally, his father gave in, and his mother went to ask the parish priest. Father Charles Bailey thought the boy was too old for the parish school. The other pupils were 11 and 12, and Jean-Marie was almost 20. But he decided to talk to him, and if there are memorable moments in the history of every saint, this encounter was certainly Jean-Marie's. After meeting him, Abbe Bailey took him on right away. You, Jesus, know your saints. Jean-Marie wasn't very academic, and after a year trying to catch up with the rest of the pupils, he grew discouraged and told Monsignor Bailey that he wanted to quit. But Father Bailey dissuaded him. He said that if he left, many souls would pay for it. He had hit sensitive points. Souls. And Jean-Marie stayed. But difficulties only multiplied. In 1809, he was drafted into the army. After some incidents, he deserted and had to hide for 2 years. In 1811, at the age of 25, he rejoined the seminary. He had to take private tuition with some teachers to prepare for his exams. But the exams were in Latin, and Latin wasn't his forte. So the results were so bad that in December 1813, he was asked to leave the seminary. And when Abbe Bailey received him, he encouraged Jean-Marie to carry on, and the priest started teaching him personally. They prepared for the exams together, now in French, instead of in Latin. And he went back to the seminary to retake the exams at the age of 27. But again, they were in Latin, and the pupil failed. He was ready to give up again. But Monsignor Bailey wasn't. So he went to talk to the president of the examination board and asked to repeat the exam in French, and to persuade the examiner He said, "We absolutely have to save this vocation." Now, the exam went better this time, and after passing the exam, Abbé Courbon, who had to decide about the ordination, asked, "Is Vianney devout?" And Father Bailey said, "He's a model of devotion." So at the age of 29, August 13, 1815, he was ordained a priest. A few years later, thousands of people were coming to his confessional. And today, Saint Jean-Marie Vianney is well known. He is the patron saint of parish priests. But let's never forget this. If Father Charles Bailey hadn't been fighting for his vocation, parish priests wouldn't have any patron saint. How much the Church owes this almost unknown priest of a small village of Écully, who didn't give up and supported the seminarian even when Jean-Marie himself had given up. How much the Church owes Saint Barnabas, who gave us Saint Paul. How important it is that we, Jesus, support the vocations of others, first of all with our prayers and sacrifice, but then also, like Saint Barnabas, going in search of vocations. Just as Barnabas went in search of Saint Paul, later on he also went in search of Saint Mark, who had left Paul and Barnabas in the middle of the missionary journey. Saint Paul had given up on Mark, but not Saint Barnabas. Maybe also because it was his cousin. Who knows? If it wasn't for Saint Barnabas, perhaps we wouldn't even have the second gospel either. All Saint Paul needed was a little bit of encouragement, someone who would take him to Antioch to see how many souls needed him. And all Saint Jean-Marie Vianney needed was a supportive priest at his side. And Saint Mark, all he needed was a second chance. And the same with so many others. I see Saint Barnabas as the apostle of apostles, the promoter, the advocate, the defender of vocations, to learn from. Everyone has a vocation. Everyone has been called by you, Jesus, for a mission, for a purpose. And we need to help people discover it, because many souls depend on it. You see, I can tell you the number of people who said to me when I was a boy, "I pray that one day you'll become a priest." Maybe it was you who listened to me now, and you don't know I'm a priest, thanks to your prayers. So let us pray. Let us pray a lot for vocations for 21st century apostles. Maybe that boy serving at Mass in your parish will convert many souls if he discovers and follows his vocation. Maybe that little girl at Mass is destined to be the next Saint Catherine of Siena. Maybe your son, your daughter, or maybe even the son of your boss, your niece, or the waitress that is serving you coffee now is being called to great things. Like Saint Barnabas, Jesus, you need apostles who can find new apostles, who will teach them, support them, and encourage them when things get difficult. In this time of prayer, along with all those who pray with me now, Jesus, I ask you to help me become an apostle of apostles. I ask you for more apostles of apostles, that we find the new St. Pauls, the new St. Marks, the new St. Jean-Marie Vianneys, the new Thereses and the new St. Catherines of the 21st century. Who knows, if next Sunday at Mass you will be sitting next to St. John Paul III. Let us pray a lot for them. Mary, Mother of the Apostles, help your children to find and to become the apostles that your Son needs for our age. I give you thanks, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.